Elevate your fantasy football team by winning week 8 on the waiver wire. Dive into the realm of fantasy football and the sorcery that comes behind it by making sure you pick the 3 correct players that I'm about to explain to you. And remember, the last one is very important for a very crucial position on your fantasy football team. So make sure you stay all the way to the end. But we're going to start with the very first guy, someone who could change a very hard position, which is tight end. This man has the ability to be your tight end, not just for one more week, but for 4 of them. Let's get into it. Even though every team is off of a bye this week, yeah, that's right, everyone is playing this week after last week having 6 or 7 teams on bye, we still have the ability to elevate our team. And right now we're looking to elevate a position in tight end, which can always use an upgrade unless you have Travis Kelce. And somebody we're going to look at right now is Trey McBride. I get it. He's 1.8% rostered on ESPN and Yahoo leagues. And you're saying, like, the Arizona Cardinals are a really bad offense. Why would I want any part of that? Well, here's why. Trey McBride is going to be pretty much all alone because Zach Ertz is now on the injured reserve, which means he's going to miss not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, possibly more games than that. He has at least 4, but could miss more. So you could have a tight end that has a consistent ability to produce in an offense. We've talked about this. Now, we're missing the good offense because there's rules to tight ends. And if you don't get a tight end from a good offense, you need these other rules to make sure he hits. And one of them is an athletic ability. Trey McBride has that. The second thing is he has to be a top 3 option in that offense. And right now, he is a top 2 option because there's Hollywood Brown and nobody else. James Conner is injured right now. Like we said, Zach Ertz is injured right now. Rondell Moore doesn't make a difference. Michael Wilson is a rookie and isn't consistent. Nobody's doing anything. McBride led all the Cardinals tight ends in targets and was second on the team last week. As long as Zach Ertz is out, he's going to matter for fantasy football because last week he got 6 targets and the week before that he got 5 targets. Now, again, the Ravens are a bit of a tough matchup, but there will be throwing involved because they should be losing to the Baltimore Ravens. Therefore, you're going to have the pass opportunity in garbage time for Trey McBride to be great. So if you're in a PPR league and you need somebody to give you 5 for 6 for 60 yards and possibly a touchdown, Trey McBride is him. Let's move on to the second guy, though, because the second guy is actually not just one person, but 2 people that can help you in your wide receiver slot. Now, if you're a consistent follower to this page, first off, thank you. For anyone who's new to this page, please go like and subscribe. But if you've been here, you know we've been talking about Josh Downs. And for some reason, he's still only 35.8% rostered in ESPN and Yahoo leagues, and I don't really understand why. Yes, we didn't want to touch the secondary wide receivers, the Colts, when it was Anthony Richardson, but it's now Gardner Minshew. And over the last 3 weeks, Down has been balling out because he's had a 19.7% target share and 2.5 yards per route run, according to PFF. He gets the New Orleans Saints, who have allowed the 9th most receiving yards to opposing slot wide receivers. And then the week after that, he gets the Patriots, who have given up the 6th highest PPR points per target. He only has 2 games this year under 6 targets. So that gives you that safe floor to elevate your wide receiver 3 in the flex. And here's the thing. The Colts defense just isn't that good. And because the Colts defense isn't that good, you're going to get passing opportunities. You're going to get the chance to put fantasy points up on the board. And because the Colts defense isn't that good, we swing right on over to Rashid Shaheed, who is only 27.8% rostered in ESPN and Yahoo leagues. And again, Josh Downs was the safe play. Rashid Shaheed is your home run hitter. So it all really depends, because here's a huge stat here. Pay attention. You have to pay attention to your projections. Yes, they don't mean everything in the world, but what they will tell you is, do you need a home run hitter in your flex, or do you need someone to give you safe points? If you need safe points, you go to Josh Downs. If you need that home run shot, you go to Rashid Shaheed, because the next 3 weeks should be kind to him as a fantasy football player and for you as a fantasy football manager, because he gets the Indianapolis Colts, a really bad wide receiver coverage team. The Chicago Bears, just a really bad team. And the Minnesota Vikings, who, yes, they had a great week against the Niners this past week, but just still a really bad defense. They all utilize zone coverage on at least 70% of their coverage snaps. Those 3 secondaries also rank 11th, 13th, and 4th in receiving yards allowed to wide receivers. So there's an opportunity there. And Derek Carr is leading the league at throwing deep balls. I'm not saying he's completing them all, but he loves to throw the deep ball. And Rashid Shaheed is the guy on the team for that. They use them in end arounds. They develop plays for them. And if a coach is manufacturing plays for his player, They're important. So like I said, if you need a safe play, you go to Josh Downs. If you need a home run hitter, if you need like a Bryce Harper grand slam type of shot, well, you're going to go Rashid Shaheed. Now, we've gone through 3 players here, so you're going to get a bonus one here because the 4th player should have been on everybody's team already, but he's only rostered in 18.6%, and he's a running back. Doesn't make sense. Let me help you make sure that your roster is great by the end of this waiver wire. Here's the last guy for you. The last guy is Darrell Henderson, because you should never leave a starting running back on the waiver wire, especially this much like roster shit that isn't being used with him. He's 18.6% rostered in ESPN and Yahoo leagues, and that should jump. That should absolutely jump to up to 40, 50%. But if he's still out there, you need to go get him, because a starting running back brings volume, and volume is king when it comes to the running back position, especially when it's Sean McVay. If he can trust you in things like pass protection, as you see here, he will use you. If he can trust you to get in the end zone, as you see here, he will use you. He is somebody that you're comfortable with. And if he liked any of the options that were on his team, he wouldn't have gone out and got D. Hendo off the waiver wire himself and brought him back. He should have probably never been cut with how we saw this Cam Akers thing work out. But it is what it is. But he's back now. And Matthew Stafford just didn't look right to me. And they're kind of struggling into the bye. Now, don't get me wrong. The Dallas Cowboys is not an easy matchup for them. But again, volume is king. And I guarantee you, if you look at your bench and you look at your running backs that are on there, if they don't have volume, they're not better than having D. Hendo in your lineup. So go get Darrell Henderson today. Go get all 4 of these players today if you need to. And let's win in week 8.